Hey, welcome to another adventure in old code. By my count, we're up to episode number 31. And seeing as how 31 is my absolute favorite number in the universe, I wanted to do something extra special today. So we are going to take a look at a game that I made, and it's part of the good folder. Let's have a look. It's called Lasrgame. It even gets its own directory inside the good folder. And as you can see, there are 4 versions of this game, although I think the 4th one never panned out. So there are sequels to this game. But in my opinion, Lasrgame was the best. Let's just have a look. January 21st, 1999. Joey's Lasrgame, full of excitement. Let's have a look. The Zalkunians have escaped. This is clearly something I just made up. There's no such thing as a Zalkunian. Although years later I did look this up when the internet became a thing, and I think there's something called a Zalkonian in the original Star Trek series, but I thought of it. I thought of it independently of Star Trek. So anyhow, welcome Ace. You are Earth's only hope. We are being invaded by the aliens from the planet Zalkun. If you do not get rid of all 256 individual Zalkunians, we will die. They are a circular race who do not appear to be harmful to the casual observer. However, latest research shows them to be carriers of the half-Kung virus. Once inflicted, the average man has 10 seconds to live before his insides melt and burn through his skin. After he dies, the virus feeds on his brain, increasing tenfold. It then spreads to other humans, increasing in size and mass until it gets so big that it becomes a full-size Zalkunian. Yes, that's right. The Zalkunians are actually huge viruses. The bigger they are, the more deadly. Here is a visual result of an autopsy performed on one of the red type, not yet full grown, magnified 10 quadrillion times. A red circle. Please destroy these things. We are helpless and will praise you as a god if you kill all 256. Okay, so we've got we've got a few things. Let's look at instruction. Let's look at A for the autopsy report. Autopsy report number 67654, Zalkunian. We have found that the aliens reproduce by regular mitotic cell division. However, they do not grow on their own but need brain tissue to increase their mass. They also are immune to all types of nuclear missiles and torpedoes. It is now known, though, that a very focused beam of plasmatic antimatter triggered by nuclear fusion of Lasrgame galactite molecules will penetrate their outer skin. This does not kill them, but stimulates their instinct to reproduce or divide. However, after a certain number of penetrations, the aliens will experience death as we know and will cease to live. The only problem with this is that active galactite is very hard to keep subdued under normal room temperatures, and therefore we have only a certain number we can charge at one time. Anybody who tries to take care of the Zalkunians will have to follow strict shot rules. We cannot spare that many. Also, we do not know how many shots it will take to kill one Zalkunian, but we can estimate that each individual can only take somewhere between 6 to 9 shots. Please be careful, because if you die, then we will die. This autopsy report has gone from what started off as a report to a mission briefing, I guess. Excellent. Okay, and it puts us right into the instructions. Good. You are the commander of the starship. Forget it. Just push the right and left arrow keys to move your gun and fire. Default space to fire. How much time remains is displayed in the top left corner. Some features are very intricate, so I will tell you how they work. Time. You get 10 seconds to shoot the first circle. After the screen clears and the next batch of Zalkunians appear, you get the remaining time plus 20 seconds. This is extremely important because I said so. Shots. You get half as many shots as Zalcunians. If there are 16 Zalcunians, you get 8 shots. Every shot you must average a double. Usually winning is literally impossible. Shots left are recorded as individual green squares on the right side of your screen. Have fun. Enter to continue. So I very much remember this game, and I made the default fire button to be space, but every time I play, I always make the default fire button to be down. So I can hit left and right and the down arrow, which are all easily accessible with my right hand on the keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and configure the keyboard. Press key to move left. I'll hit the left key. I'll hit the right key. And now I'll hit down to fire. And press key to turn sound on and off. Don't get too excited. There's no sound in this game except for one small part. We'll just hit S for that. Okay, I'm going to try and pause this. Pause. Perfect. The pause button on the keyboard actually does something. Okay, so this is Lasrgame. So you're the ship on the bottom, and you can see the two large Zalcunians. The time, I got 4 seconds left. And as you can see by that one green square rectangle thing, I've only got one shot. So this is what the instructions mean, that you have to average a double. I have to kill them both in one shot. And it's fairly easy as long as I hit the circle with my laser, whatever it is, then they die. So let's unpause. Unpause. I can't unpause. Oh, come on. Clearly, I'm never going to unpause again. I'm never going to pause again. Okay, let's try this one more time. Pausing, very, very bad. I gotta keep that one in my brain. Okay, let's configure the keyboard, left, right, down. Okay, so I'm going to hit down and boom. You can see how, now see here, so I've got 20 seconds to do this. I cannot kill this Zalcunian. I have to kill him all by himself because no other circles intersect him. But now I only have one shot, so I have to kill 3, and it looks like that's possible. So now there are 8 Zalcunians. And see, they're getting smaller. I might be able to, yeah, I got 4 that time. Ooh, I got 3 that time. And I have 2 shots left and only 1 Zalcunian. Bam, awesome. So every time, every stage, they double in quantity. But they become half the size. And you really need to average 2 kills per shot. I think I just might do this. Ha! Oh boy. So here I'm getting really, it's getting quite hard. I love this concept. This is totally my own creation. I didn't get this idea from anyone. Now I'm running out of time. Oh, that's too bad. In the heat of the battle, there was only one thing on your mind: destroy all Zalcunians. I think in other areas, Zalcunians is spelled with 2 O's. Anyway, when you took too many shots, your laser banks need to recharge and you are left defenseless. The Zalcunians take this time to infect you and the rest of the world with the deadly half-kung virus. Sorry. Enter to continue. Now this is great. I really enjoyed my statistics. So apparently I destroyed 56 Zalcunians, which was only 21.88% of the total. Remember, there are 256 Zalcunians you have to kill in order to beat the game. Shots used 30. Accuracy. So I never missed. Every shot killed at least 1. 16 single deaths, 3 doubles, 10 triples, and I actually got a quadruple. No quintuples, sextuples. Anyway, and then others, yeah. Trying to kill 11 at a time is kind of a bit difficult. Okay, so that's what happens when you run out of lasers. Now we will play the game. And let us run out of time. So I probably should have done this in the first stage, but we'll just let the time expire. So while we're waiting, not much to say. It seems like the colors of the circles are random. I got 2 green ones. Oh, ouch, that hurts. All you wanted to do was take a sip of coffee, but now you regret it dreadfully. The Zalkunians took their advantage, and now you have run out of time. They are upon you, and now you shall suffer the worst suffering you have ever experienced. Right behind you, more Zalkunians are preparing to infest the whole world. As you can see, you will not get a promotion this time. Press enter to continue. And this time, of course, I didn't do anything. I got a single double hit on that first stage. So I want to, you may be asking what the sound is all about. We'll get to that later. This is a pretty big program. All right, let's dive into it. Intro, end, dot, instruction, shot end, time end, ending, autopsy, and configure. Okay, so I've got L and R as strings. That's the left and the right. I've got I got a few arrays here. So 128 X values, 128 Y values, 128 rad, and 128 C. I'm guessing the X and the Y are the coordinates of each Zalkunian. Rad be the radius, the size of the Zalkunians, and C would be the color. Why only 128? Well, we'll get to that. Dim shared Zalk shot total. I guess Zalkunians and shot total. Double. I spelled double wrong. Awesome. Double, triple, quad, quint as integer. Hit as integer. And again, integers are numbers without decimals, so this is good. This is good. I'm using integers. M shot 106 is an array of 164 values, and shot is 128. Miss is an integer. Left and right and fire and sound dot are all strings. Okay, a random number generator, randomized timer, screen 12, and go to the intro, which is nothing more than printing a screen, drawing the circle. Please destroy these things. And then, yeah. So we're asking for input, and we're looping until our input is one of the 3 accepted cases. So this game is actually, I put lots of time and effort into this game, and so I made sure to not, include funny cases, and I tried so that there could be no user errors. You couldn't hit Q and something funky would happen. Okay, we're going to go back here. So L and R, remember this is the dual code signal for the left key and the right key. X2, oh that's curious. There's something called X2 that's set to 320. Do I have an X1? Well, I have an X array, so... Okay, I don't know what X2 is. T is 10. Time, maybe? Zalkunians is 0. Shot total is 0. Hit is 0. A is 1. Awesome. What is A? Oh. Why couldn't I name my variables something better? If left is empty, then left equals... Oh, I need to go back up to intro here. This isn't the, so from the intro, then we're going to do one of these three things. So we're going to go to the instructions, and this is just a printed message. Loop until we hit Enter or C to configure. If we pressed C, then configure. Okay, here's where we're going here. This is what's happening. So we're press key to move left, and then we grab the uppercase in key string. So we keep trying to get input from the keyboard, and we're assigning that to left, and we loop until left isn't empty. So whatever button we press gets stored in the variable left. Then we do it again, but we store right, and then the fire key, and then the sound key. And then we do a check. Very good. If left equals right, or left equals fire, or right equals fire, or sound equals right, or sound equals left, or sound equals fire. Basically, if they all have to be different. If they're not different, then keyboard error. Excellent. Wait for 2 seconds. KE string. Oh, keyboard error. That's what that stands for. I see. So we're setting this variable keyboard error to be yes. So there was an error. Otherwise, no, there's not an error. And we loop until there's no error. Well, that's kind of nice. So I could do this, and I could try and configure, and I could like press the left button for everything. Oh, keyboard error. We wait 2 seconds, and then we try again. Nice. Okay. That's nice. So left, right, and fire and sound dot are now our buttons. Now here, if left is empty, so if we chose not to configure the keyboard, this is setting the defaults. This is what this is. This is the left key, this is the right key. Fire is CHR string 32, which is the spacebar, and S equals 1. I'm guessing that's a flag for the sound being on. Hoo, boy. Okay, clearing the screen. Now, E shot equals N. Not sure what E shot is. A equals A times 2. Remember, A up here was 1. We set it to start out at 1. So now A is 2. Shots is A divided by 2. So it looks like A is a number of Zalcunians in the current level when you start. Shots is half as many as the Zalcunians. Ink. Ink is the same amount as shots. I'm not sure what that signifies. Y2 is 470. We had an X2 up here, which was 320, which, because this is screen 13, is dead center in the screen. 470 is quite close to the bottom. So I'm assuming X2Y2 is the coordinate of your triangular ship at the bottom. Just my guess, though, but I think that's right. Circ equals 0. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. So for B equals 1 to 20. Oh, this is initializing the first 20 X, Y, radius, and color values. Remember, we didn't have only 20 of them. We said that we wanted 128 of them. Okay, this is setting the first 20 to 0. All zeros. I'm not sure. If A equals 32, then A equals 33. Huh? So A is going to go 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. It's going to try and go to 32, but then it'll become 33. Okay. I'm not sure why that's... And similarly with 64, it gets turned into 65. Okay. I thought that A was the number of Zalcunians at the beginning of the level, but maybe it's not. B equals 1 to A. Okay. We are going to do xb equals, so we pick a random x coordinate and we loop until, okay. So what this is you'll notice every time I move, I don't move by 1 pixel. I move by, in fact, 10 pixels. But I wanted it so that you could line up the center of any Zalcunian with your laser. So the centers of all the Zalcunians can only be on the same x-coordinate as the center of your ship. So every 10 pixels. Nothing in between is allowed as an x-coordinate. So that is why we're doing this. So we pick a random x value and we loop until that x value divided by 100, casting it to an integer, is equal to x, that x value divided by 10. Sorry, I may have said 100 before. So what this means is when you have a number that's a single, which means it has decimals, and you divide it by 10, you're going to have decimals. What this int command does is anything in brackets here, it will do the calculation, and then we are going to do what's called casting it. We're changing it into an integer, which is a number without decimals. And the way QBasic does that is it doesn't, I'm not sure if it rounds or not. I don't think it rounds. It just chops off the decimal values. So 6.7 becomes 6. We could even do that. We can print integer of 6.7. See what this, whoops. See what this does. 6. Yeah, it just chops it off. If I did 6.99999, it chops it off. 6.0, obviously 6. So it just chops off the decimal value. So what you're left with is an integer. Okay, let's get back here. So what we're saying is loop until the integer, if the random number divided by 10, throw away the decimals, is equal to just the random number divided by 10, then you're good. So let's say the random number was 67. What it would do is it goes 67 divided by 10, that's 6.7. Cast it to an integer, it's 6. Is 6 equal to 6.7? No, it's not. So then we loop. We try another random value. So we keep trying random values for x until we get one that is an exact multiple of 10. Okay, the radius of this particular Zalcunian is 512 divided by a. Okay, so in the first level, the radius is 512. In the second level, it'll be 256. In the third level, it'll be 128, so on and so forth. The radius keeps getting smaller, so the y value is some random number between 1 and 469, and we subtract the radius. So what this means is that we're along the y-axis, no circle will be dipping below the bottom of the screen. Yeah, it can go off to the left and to the right and above the screen, but it won't go down below the screen. If the random y value is less than 1, then y equals 1. Okay, so if we chose like 1 as our magic number, our random number, and our radius was, say, 100, this would be minus 99. But then I just set that back equal to 1. So at most, only half the circle will be above the top of the screen. Perfect. Okay, and then we loop just until the center of the Zalcunian is within some nice bounds on the screen. X is greater than 165 or Y is greater than 50. Okay. We just don't want it too far off in any one corner. Okay? For blah. X and Y. See, okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing here for 1x equals 1 to 40. Blah. At this point, I needed new x, y values for whatever reason. Oh, I know what this is. These are the stars. Stars in the background. Okay, so x and y, I needed values for the stars, and rather than use x and y because they're already variables, I already have an x2, y2, I have arrays called x and y. I needed a new kind of x and y, and I guess other than, star x and star y, or x3, y3, I decided to do this kind of funkiness and call them x and y. All right, and then I piece it. I light up the dot at that random coordinate. Now I didn't have to store that coordinate anywhere, so I could have just did this. What am I doing here? 480. I could have just done this and gotten rid of these, but I didn't. Then I wouldn't have needed x and y. Okay, well that doesn't matter. Oh, x and y. All right. Next, blah. Okay, so we're lighting up the stars. So now if A is equal to 33, then turn it back to 32. That's gonna really bother me why I needed A. A couldn't be 32 or 64. What's such a problem with 32 and 64? Well, this is when we change it. If A was 32, let's pretend A was 32. This is 512 divided by 32, which is 2 to the 9, divided by 2 to the 5, which is 2 to the 4, which is 16. The radius becomes 16. I'm not sure what the problem is. I don't know why it's a problem. Okay, well, I won't, I obviously did it for some reason, but I'm not sure why. There's nothing here that's going to be so concerning if A is equal to 32 for this loop. Okay, oh well, for B equals 1 to A, so here we're drawing the Zalcunians. Oh, whoops, I didn't finish this. Radius, the Y value, and the color is a random color. So the Zalcunian is a random color. Okay, now back down to this loop for B equals 1 to A. Draw all the Zalcunians, x, y coordinates, the radius, the color. If A equals 32, then P set okay. I know why. I'm going to leave you hanging. This is going to be a two-part episode. But I know why that I changed it to 33 and 65. And I will share that with you. I'll keep you in suspense Until next time, thank you for joining me in this adventure in old code. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.